everybody. We're glad you're joining us here tonight for our first ever 2025 fall schedule reveal.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited. My name is Jason Saab, president, founder of Roar Sports, Flag Football League, NFL licensed league here in Bridgeport, West Virginia. We have another league down south in Weston. We just started about a season ago. It's in its sophomore season, right now. And so myself and Miggs thought we would take a play out of the, no pun intended, a play out of the NFL flag playbook and make a big deal about our schedule release. What do you think, Miggs? The story for tonight?
Well, we're going to go down and break down all the teams that's going head to head. It's an exciting league. It should be fun.
Should be a good time. So as we get started tonight, just a couple things real quick before I forget, because I know I will. We actually have a deal worked out with Seismic. Seismic makes these headgear, and if you watch the NFL Flag Championships on ESPN that were just a couple weeks ago, you see a lot of the players wearing these. A lot of our older players, especially in 15U, Bear, Nate, and some of the others will be wearing these this year. We have a deal worked out with Seismic, so we can put one of these on your player for a heavily discounted price. They sell regularly for about $70. If you tell them you're ordering from Roar Sports, you'll get them for $49. Ed Soth, EDSOTH1 @live.com is the email address. It's also in our sports app if you didn't miss that. And just send them an email, say, hey, I'm with Roar Sports. Jason told me to get a hold of you, and they'll hook you up with one of these. So we're going to break down the schedules tonight, and we're going to go division by division. We're not sliding, but in the 6U and 7U at that age, sometimes, and the coaches can tell you, Miggs, you've coached.
Yeah, I've never
right?
coached 6U.
You never coached?
I helped out a little bit, but 6U is just trying to get them focused. That's the main
Sometimes
thing.
it's like herding cats. So rather than try to do a crazy made-up breakdown, we're going to go ahead and just roll through the 6U schedules. Our show tonight being produced, executive producer Bear is behind the control center today, and he's going to pull up the 6U schedules. He's going to go ahead and roll those on the screen, and we'll take a peek at those right now. Oh, we're back on camera. Bear's looking for the 6U over on the panel there, Bear. 6U panel. There you go. There you go. And so he's going to hit. Go ahead and hit that. There he goes. All right, so there's a 6U panel. Start out. Zach Delore, Coach Zach's coming off a win with the Bills in 12U. He's going to try his hand there at that. He's got some twins playing there. Coach Jared Rake's back again.
Back again.
And yeah, he's back again, reloading there in 6U for the Broncos. Always the Broncos. George Carr comes back. We haven't seen George for a couple seasons. It's going to be good to have George back here. So it's good to have him back. He's coming back with the Chargers. And then another new coach for this season, Gerald Radcliffe, has stepped up and taken the call. He'll be taking the helm for the 6U Miami Dolphins. And then down south, we have the 7U Bengals, headed up by Coach Grant Wyman. He's coming off a Super Bowl win last season with his 8U Chiefs. And then our beloved AMAC, Coach Andrew McDonald, he'll be joining us here in studio pretty soon. He will be heading up, taking the role of head coach for the 7U New York Jets. So while we are looking at those, I wanted to just kind of explain what was going on right now with our leagues. So we started a new league down in Weston last spring, right? Yeah, spring. Sorry, I'm tired.
It's okay.
So we started out last spring, and as with any rec sports, you have to just do what they give you. And so with the different age brackets, we wanted to make it competitive and get it together. So this season, the 7U division, you may have noticed those were 7U, and our team's here in Roar Central. Roar Central plays out of Bridgeport here at the Bridge. Roar South plays out of beautiful Lewis County Park. Got a wonderful field down there God has blessed us with. And so we are playing between these two locations. The 7U down there, they're a young 7U division, and so they will match up against our 6U up here in that division. And you'll see later on in the show, are the 9U from Roar South will play the 10U here at Roar Central. Those 9U kids being mostly 9-year-olds, and our 10U division being a young 10U division. So they'll match up pretty well. And then when we get to the 12U division, Roar South will have the 10 to 12-year-olds that'll match up against our 11 to 12-year-olds, most of them being in the 11-year range. So should be pretty competitive, should be pretty fun, as well as it keeps 2 teams in each division there. And the teams will travel back and forth. We'll be sending some Central teams down there. Some South teams will come up here. That way, because they only have 2 teams in each division, they don't have to play each other every single week. Gives us some diversity and so forth. So we're going to break for a quick 30-second commercial real quick, pay some bills, and recognition to our sponsors. We come back, we will break down one of our exciting divisions, the 8U division. Stay tuned. All right. Back from commercial break. We got some new sponsors. I want to say a few words about Fat Angelo's.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite spot.
That's your favorite spot?
They always treat us right.
I think Miggs is going to be sporting the Fat Angelo's logo on his, 12U team?
12, maybe my 10. 12 or 10. Yeah, 12, 10.
I know the 15U Saints is Coach Nate and Bears team. We're going to be rocking out El Rey. El Rey is our go-to joint after a lot of Roar events and so forth. I know when Bear and I go into El Rey. So Alex and Luis, if you guys are watching, thank you so much.
Yeah, big meetings.
Yeah, food's always a big sponsor for us, as well as I want to give a shout out to the Bridgeport Conference Center. They were huge in coming in clutch last minute, giving us a space to host our draft party.
That was huge.
So yeah, that was awesome. It was awesome. Coach Nate will be on here in a little bit, and his wife was instrumental in that. So thank you to her and Dee Johnson for hooking us up there at the Bridgeport Convention Center up there on Jerry Dub Drive. All right,
Leslie was good.
Before we get there, let me just say, and I don't say this in a violent way, but just in a fun and competitive way, 8U is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
Oh, it's serious. The draft order they had is talent all around. There's nothing that you can say, I didn't get a good kid this year. No, it's so balanced in there. It's just going to be head-on competitiveness.
Yeah. The 8U division, we allow coaches, just in case you're new to Roar Sports, we allow coaches to protect up to 3 players, and they have to draft the rest. Usually it's their kid, their assistant's kid, maybe another assistant kid or a friend or so, but not enough to overwhelm a division, but to have a good core to start with and to build around. And looking across the board, the 8U teams before the draft started, all 8U teams, and there's 8 of them. We got 80 kids in our 8U division this season, just that division alone. All of our teams, I think, were pretty well balanced. All 3 of the protections were just stacked. And then, of course, a new coach we'll talk about here in a little bit with the 8U Patriots, Frank Sutton, stepped up this season. He had actually an empty spot, so he got the very, very first pick, pulled in a real good player with that pick, and he's going to be competitive as well.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's take a look at our first matchup of the season. Our first matchup of the season is going to be the Broncos and the Jaguars. So we'll take a look at this schedule here real quick. Take a look at this schedule here. With the Broncos, we've got the Jags opening up, and Miggs is going to start breaking that down here in a moment. But they open up with the Jags, and then go to the Titans, Falcons, Panthers, just across this whole division. Looks like the Broncos are going to have their work cut out for them. We look over to the Jags and see their opening schedule. And parents, by the way, those of you that are watching, these schedules will be live in our Stack Team app later on tonight. So back in the schedule, we look here. Of course, the Broncos they start with, and then interestingly, second game with the Patriots. That's the mystery team here. I know Coach Frank Sutton's going to do a great job with the Patriots. He's got some solid picks, some solid players. Titans, Nate Thornburg's always tough. Of course, and then he meets you, Miggs, there with the Lions. And then, that's Wilcox.
Wilcox.
That's Wilcox. He's got a good team as well.
Oh yeah, very good.
Our Falcons, and then Nicky Sinelli. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Comes back with the Bills. So it's going to be interesting. So, Coach Miggs, do you want to go ahead and break down some of these?
Down
week 1.
Let's break down week 1. It's a lot packed, jammed with exciting players, exciting coaches, and you can't get any better than these 2, Rakes and Jody. These 2 are very vetted, competitive coaches. You cannot get any more experience than these two guys. These guys are well trained. Their kids very well. They take care of the ball. They know how to run it. Their defense is spectacular. For the age group they have the ability to do so much things with these kids. It's unbelievable. So let's just take a look at the Broncos for a second here. A veteran Super Bowl experienced coach. He's great. He has schemes. Experience runs everything in this league. He's a vet. He has schemes that defenses can't even adjust to. People might call it cheating, but I personally think he's great. He's a genius.
He's a good coach.
He's a really good coach.
He's a good coach.
And I think he has big receivers in his sons and all these other kids he done drafted this year. Very big receivers. His defense is going to be a headache. He forces you to either run the ball or pass. He's going to take one of those away from you. You have to make a good decision on this coach.
For sure. What about the Jags? What do you see coming from Coach Jody Boblett?
Coach Jody has never seen a team like this in his life. I'll put this on everything.
He's good picks.
7 vets.
Yep.
He ended up with 7 veteran players.
One off the 6U Super Bowl.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was a random pick.
That was amazing.
For those of you that don't know, our random picks are to prevent kids and not so much kids, but parents from trying to game the system. Sometimes parents will keep kids out of combines and evaluations and try to get them on Coach so-and-so's team, and that can end up in stacked teams. And so to ensure parity across our league, right? Any kid that is not protected and not at the combine, they are a random draw. And so that player is a random draw he was on the 6U Super Bowl team, so that's going to be pretty fantastic for him.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Vets are what you strive for in this league.
So let me ask you, Coach Miggs. Let me ask you, what is the bigger story and what is going to be the bigger factor this season? Coach Jared Rakes having to reload after losing 2 veteran players, one who went up and one who's playing another sport.
Yes.
What's the bigger factor? That or Coach Jody Boblett coming back after a season off? Which one do you think is going to be a bigger factor in the season?
Coach Jody has the bigger factor in this situation because losing vets is really hard. It's really hard to try to come back into a system that you already had veterans to take over that system. So Coach Jody has a better odds than anything else because Jody gets 7 veteran players in this new league.
Yeah, he does. So he does. And so you think it's going to be harder for Coach Rakes to reload after the 2 that he built his offense around?
Let's talk.
We saw him tonight out there on the field.
Let's talk about vets, man. This guy is serious. I can't say no and I can't say yes. This guy is a serious competitor. I would not doubt it. But at the end of the day, when you look at these 2 coaches,
it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, you might see a Super Bowl preview.
It might very well be a Super Bowl preview. Would you put it up there probably with maybe the Ravens and Bills opening game?
Yeah, I would put it. That's a good game, but they have a great chance, and I'll let you know right now, they will remember each other.
It's going to be an interesting season. All right, well, that's that. Let's look at our next matchup. Let's take a look at the peek at the schedules for the 8U Patriots. The 8U Patriots, remember, they are being coached by head coach Frank Sutton. His first season there, it's going to be pretty good. And then also we've got the 8U. The 8U, let's see here, 8U Panthers as well. We got Coach Brewer. It's going to be back there, and looks like they got a pretty good road ahead of them as well. So looking at this week 1 matchup here between the Patriots and the Panthers. Of course, the Patriots, that's the wild card, right? Nobody knows a lot. It's the wild card. It's Coach Frank Sutton. He's been around sports before. He knows sports, knows kids. And, football aside, it's sports. It's getting kids to respond and to do that. And then on the other side of the ball, you've got Coach Pastor Justin Brewer, who is a huge asset to our league. He's been here, helps us with our halftime talks and so forth. And Coach Brewer, he's always competitive. Yeah. He always has a good core players, very competitive. Sometimes he's been there right to the end of the game, and I've seen some of the bigger games when he's played against maybe even a better team. He's right there to the end, and just so hoping he can finish, and I think he will this year with some of the players that we saw him pull in on draft night.
He gets better every season. As you watch this pastor, he's not only a pastor, he's a great coach.
He's a good preacher too.
He's a good preacher.
Lighthouse Baptist Church in Salem, if you're looking for a church, Lighthouse Baptist Church in Salem. And what we're talking about there, guys, is so Rush Sports is we're a 501c3, a nonprofit for religious purposes. We use the universal language of sports to get the gospel message out. And so during one of the practices during the week, we have a 5-minute devotion with the kids, and then we have a encouraging halftime talk of every game. So we get to minister to the parents and families that come by as well. So Pastor Brewer, you'll see him on the sidelines. Then 2 seconds later, he'll be delivering a halftime message. So it's wonderful to have people like him involved as well. All right, next up, first, this is going to be another Week 1 matchup. I think this one might be the one flying under the radar. This is my pick to be the one flying under the radar. We have a couple things going on here. Number one, we have the Honorable Nicky Sinelli.
The return guy.
The return. He has come and played so well. This year, though, it's going to be a little hard for us as we see that red, white, and blue logo floating there. Nicky is diehard Chicago Bears.
Yeah, all year I've seen him in that.
I won't share it here, but if you find Coach Nicky around, he'll share the story of why he's the Bills this year instead of the Bears. So it's going to be nice to have Coach Nicky Sinelli back on the sidelines. That's going to be interesting. And the reason why I say under the radar is he's coming back, right?
Yes.
He's coming back.
Uh-huh.
And then we have another coach that has been putting together solid seasons in Nate Thornburg, right?
Yeah, Nate Thornburg. He's just been solid all season. He has been one of those coaches that you don't want to sleep on this guy.
He's very consistent.
He's very consistent. He puts everything in perspective to make the kids great.
Yeah, he does. And his offense being he's a run-heavy offense, I think. Run heavy.
He's a spread offense. He spreads it really well.
He runs a lot.
He runs a lot.
Run heavy. And I think it's going to be really neat seeing him come back, and then not this game, but the return of, lest I say similar to Jimbo and what's his name? What's his name? Coach down in Georgia. Guys in the studio. Who's the coach in Georgia?
Kirby Smart.
Yeah. Rakes and Sinelli. We get that back again. What week is that? Bear, go back to that schedule real quick. Let me see where that schedule is real quick.
It's going to be loud, guys.
Pull the Bills schedule back up. Yeah, pull that Bills schedule back on the screen. They don't play in the regular season. Okay, so here's the thing. We have 8 teams in this division, right? And only 6 weeks of regular season games. So they don't – Rakes and Sinelli will not meet. That was the other thing that's interesting is – that could be a first-round playoff or a second-round playoff, a deep-round playoff because they're both probably going to finish well, right? And so that's going to be an interesting thing to not see them square off during the season. They've had I forget how many Super Bowls where they have gone at it back and forth, and it's always
two juggernauts.
Yeah, when they're in the same division, it's Rakes and Sinelli and Rakes, Rakes and Sinelli. It's like rinse and repeat. So that's interesting that they're not going to meet in the regular season. So.
I think some new guns going to start throwing some shots too.
I think so as well. Speaking of new guns, let's roll that next schedule, Bear. Meigs, your Lions.
That's not my Lions. That's
Wilcox.
Wilcox.
Wilcox. I'm in the wrong division. Wilcox
Great
had
coach.
a fantastic draft this year. Pulled some real solid players in his draft. Matter of fact, last season he was an 8U last season.
Yeah.
Right? He was a Cardinals last season, and as the Cardinals in last season, Coach Wilcox was only about. And I refereed the game. That's how I know. He was about 3 minutes, 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half away. Of winning that playoff game, going to the next round. He just ran out of time. The team finally started gelling. And then the next team I'm kind of excited about, new blood coming up into the 8U division. Coach Travis Losh. Coached his first season in 6U. Asked Bear and I to help out. So Bear's kind of busy. But he's going to help as he can. I'll be assisting him and his other coach there for the Falcons. I will tell you, not to spoil it, but we got a stable.
Yeah.
We got a stable, and we got some guys that can run. So I'm looking for big things from the Falcons. I'm usually not an 8U guy, so it's going to be I'm kind of excited and kind of not nervous, but I don't know what, you've done 8U for a while. Any pointers?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Wilcox is a fast learner. He adjusts well. He already has his plays set. He listens. He's just a great coach. I'm going to tell honestly, in this league, there's no easy path to these roads. It's just straight hands.
Right?
They're gonna butt heads, and it's gonna be fun to watch. Wilcox is a great coach. Losh is a great coach, and the thing is, they're not that real experienced. I think it's a 1-year gap between both of them.
Yep.
So it's
good point.
So it's gonna be a slow start for them, but when Wilcox and Losh really click in, there'll be a team to watch out for.
I think so. All right. Well, that's going to be week 1 in the 8U division. So we're going to take another 30-second break, pay some bills, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the 10U division and get into some of the Roar South teams that will be competing in there. So stick around. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. All right, back after commercial break, and now I am joined, Miguel, you just got a lot better looking. I'm joined by one of our coaches from Roar South, Coach Andrew McDonald, who I have affectionately named AMAC, so I want rights to that name. I want intellectual property rights to AMAC, right? He has done a wonderful coach. Tell us about yourself, Coach. Somebody told me, little birdie told me you played football when you were younger.
I did. I played football for, I'm from Man, West Virginia. That's where I played, and went on to Glenville. Played a few years from Glenville, and then after that, kind of got out of it, and then back to coaching now. So what a great experience.
All right, we are just excited to have you.
Thank you.
And we're going to start, and I'm going to have you to kind of lead us through this session here, talking about the 10U. Well, actually, they're 9U, but in our 10U division, let's see what the Colts have lined up there.
Great opportunity for us. We're adding a new division this year, and or this season. And this is going to be one of the my favorite divisions, probably because there's so much talent in that division. You're going to see a lot of speed from both teams, and you're going to get an opportunity to see some players that played last season that has a year under their belt, and then I think they're going to be able to lead a lot of the other newcomers that we got going on. But I think the first week's going to be phenomenal. Then we're playing some of the central teams, so I think we're going to be able to give everybody a good run for their money.
And what about the Rams? What do the Rams got going on? That's Nathan West, I think, is coaching. So Charles Wolf coaching the Colts, right?
Correct.
And
yes.
Nathan West. What can you tell us about that?
Oh, he's a great coach. He has experience too coming in. He's involved in several different things, but he coached last year with the Steelers for the 11U division that we had, and did a great job. And I think he's going to bring his experience that he's going to bring coming in for this 10U division is going to be phenomenal. And most of the coaches that are coming back this year all have experience. So last year we were all learning together at the same time, but with a little bit more experience that we have now, I think this season is going to be a definitely good one to watch.
Yeah, it should be. I'm excited to get down there to see those guys and see what's going on there with that division. And so they come up here, and no, you guys are all the games are down there. So our 10U up here will be making trips down to South?
South, yes.
Let me ask you a question. How, being granted you guys sophomore year, Roar South, how much do you think, if any, a factor will it be playing on the grass down there versus the turf that we play on here at the bridge?
Oh, it's going to be a big difference. Playing in the South, playing out in the elements. In the spring season, you dealt with the weather. It's probably been cold. And then now you're going to deal with a little bit of heat, a little bit of humidity. So I think it gives the South some advantage when it comes to that, playing outdoors versus here. And then when we come up here, of course, it's a little different because the spacing's different, limitations as far as quarterbacks throwing So I think that's going to be some challenges, but I think everybody will be able to adjust.
Sure. And hats off to our director for Roar South, Ed Clark. He's here in studio with us. He's not a camera guy. I don't know a camera, so let A-Mac do it. But Ed has done a fantastic job down there, secure. He's even got second season. You guys got your own press box. We don't have a press box here. You got your own press box. And just so you guys know, we started this live stream last season, and it was a big hit here in Central. And so we don't have live streaming down at South because we don't have the internet connection there at the park. However, we will have the Pixelot running, and it'll be video on demand. So usually within the next 24 to 48 hours, the replay of those games in Roar South will be available. So speaking of Rams, we're going to take a look at the schedule for the 10U Rams here in Central. 10U Rams here in Central. We've got, let's see here, they're starting off with the Lions as Coach Miggs makes his way back up to the table here. The Lions are going to be something with that core that he's got. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then the Broncos, Rams, they've got a pretty decent schedule for the Rams. That's Coach Pat Halbritter. This is his, he's a vet here, seasoned in 10U. I don't know, how many seasons is this now, Miggs, for Coach Pat?
About 8.
About 8 at that younger level. Yeah, Jordan.
Oh no, it's 2. It's 2.
Is it 2 at that level?
Yeah,
Okay.
but he's an 8-year vet. So
Yeah. Well, he's been around for a minute, and so Pat's got a pretty good schedule ahead of him. And then Miggs, let's take a look at your schedule. This is you.
Yeah, this is me.
The
Yeah,
Miggs
this is the
Miggs
Lions.
Miggs Lions
Yeah,
here.
Wilcox stole it from me.
So we see. Take a look at that schedule there for a minute, and we see you open up a Pat. So that's going to be interesting, and then. I'll talk about something here in a second. So we'll take a look at that. Miggs, let's talk about this. This opening, what do you expect? You're the coach. What do you expect?
I've coached.
Opening game.
I've coached on the Pat.
Against Pat.
I've
You've coached against Pat. You've
I've
coached
coached
with Pat.
I've coached everything I know I need to know about Pat.
So how big of a factor is that for you, knowing his mannerisms, his tendencies at the 10U, which is much different?
You can't figure Pat out. There's no figure. You think you do, and then he throws wild balls. He's an offensive genius. When he comes to the ball and getting these kids in position, he's great at it. I've never seen a coach off the top of his head can manipulate any player to do what he wants to do. It's hard to even compete with that.
Yeah, and your core, not too bad going into the draft. How do you feel coming out of the draft? Going into the draft, I would say arguably you may have had the best core in 10U. Arguably.
Yes.
So coming out of the draft, where do you see, if you're doing an honest assessment, where do you think the Rams are going to, or the Lions are going to land? What do you think, based on your draft?
I'm a coach of that team, so I'm gonna put my team number 1. First defense of my coach is always the most important key factor in my league. A lot of these coaches don't strive on defense like B, so I'll put my defense number 1 over anybody's defense here.
Defense plays championships, so wins championships. So we'll get to see that again. And let me ask you one more thing before we go on to the next schedule, because it's coming up in the next schedule.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, pull that line schedule back up again there, Bear. Line schedule back up. There's one game on here that when the schedules come out we looked at, and there it is at the very end, 9/27.
Bear.
The Lions and the Ravens.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Ravens here next and find out, but how big of a game could that be with playoff implications on the line?
That's definitely a seeding match right there. Just definitely to see who you're going to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a heavy-hitting game. And that time, those teams are fully developed. They're fully understanding every scheme and things you put together.
But it's also true, the way we've seen things happen here at Roar, right? It's also true that last matchup against the Ravens could be a back-to-back.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
because
it could be.
Depending on what happens during the season, that could be your first round matchup.
Yes, it could be.
So that could be a very, very
So you really don't want to win or lose in that situation. You don't want to show your hand.
Right.
You just want to play your natural game.
Maybe take an L to hide some things like that. I think Coach Rakes and the Broncos
nobody likes losing.
Known for that. Speaking of Broncos, let's go to the next one here. We have the Broncos, and this is going to be another, probably the youngest 10U coach to ever take the reins as a head coach. Bear, who's executive producer of our show tonight, is behind the computer just laughing right now.
Dancing away.
Yep, he'll be heading up the 10U Broncos. And Bear is going to be, this is what we call baptism by fire, right?
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan of the fire. He opens up with none other than Holden Cross and the Ravens. So what do you think?
I got a lot to say about this.
Here we go.
Let's break down the head coach of the Broncos. Let's break down the head coach of the Broncos.
Go ahead.
This kid, just because he has a young face, he's genius. He has great instincts. He put his kids in the best situations. They follow him. They look up to him. They know what type of player he is. They watch him all the time. They know what they're expecting. So they always put themselves in position to follow this coach as they go along through the season.
What about Coach Holden? I know I was able to coach with him last season. We had the Jets and had a pretty dominating team in 10U. We just had some good players. I don't think it's because we're great coaches. But we had some good players, and he's coming off that high, kind of a – sometimes you come off those highs. He's still stacked, still got some good players, solid players. What do you think? What do you look for in the Ravens season?
The Ravens drafted extremely well.
Yeah,
the position they had and the picks they picked out of those kids, they're big receivers. They're big receivers. Holden Cross is no joke. I'm going to let you know right now, you prep just as much as they prep for me and you every week. You have to prep for Holden Cross. You literally study film and try your best to adjust anything you can to just get a little head over whatever he brings. And he's going to bring the heat. Holden Cross he's like a guy that goes into the rose petals, grab it by the thorn, take a sniff, fearless, and just throw it away. That's how he's going to play the game.
But the story that's running here, the storyline is as we go back a few seasons back, you had an absolute dog of a team in the Falcons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your nephew was on that team,
Yeah.
and you guys just absolutely bodied people.
It
should have been illegal. So, and unfortunately, I believe he had the 49ers that season, right?
Yeah.
They got caught in your wake.
Yeah.
It's kind of what's the old phrase? Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, right?
Yeah.
And then last season,
I'm the bug.
You're the bug. We had the Jets, and it's back. So this is number 3 with Holden and Coach Miggs, and I think it's going to be exciting, especially the way this is going to end with them playing you guys.
Yeah.
The very last game of the season, potentially a back-to-back matchup going into the playoffs, depending on happens. So I think that is going to be just a crazy good.
Holden shows mad love, man.
He does. We've got some great coaches, and that's the thing at Roar. We try to make events like the draft party and the draft where coaches are together and they're networking. So it's not just some impersonal bunch of guys on the field on Saturdays. It's a lot harder to get mad at your friends sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
And if you do get mad, it's a lot easier to make up.
Well,
right?
I tell them,
we've had a couple of those.
You're
right?
not friends for 1 hour every Saturday. I do not like you. Okay, that's how I put it in. But we cool. We cool after that.
So goes the coaching in that. So let's take a look. We got one more 10U division to take a look at. And we have another coach. He's becoming a veteran. He's becoming a fixture in our league. Coach Greg Barnhart with the all-wise and knowing Bob Wilson behind him. Yeah. When Bob Wilson looks at you and when Bob Wilson looks at you and he's got his glasses, right?
Yeah.
He is. He's just looking. He's looking down at you like this, and he's over those glasses. And I just want to get up and look at the camera like Bob does. It's intimidating when Bob does that, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, he's got Bob on his sidelines. That's going to be a big help. He's got some solid players coming back.
Oh yeah.
From the Dolphins. Now he did have to reload a little bit. He's got a couple stars coming back, and then a couple of them either left or moved up to 12U.
Yes.
Which I kind of benefited from that, so I'm not complaining. Speaking of veteran coaches, coming off a Super Bowl, 2 seasons ago?
Yes.
Coach Derek Holbert. And Coach Holbert is just he's one of those teams, right, that is just solid, just competitive. Consistent's probably a good word.
Yep.
And then if you remember back earlier in the show, we talked on the 8U division with the Titans with Coach Nate Thornburg. Coach Nate Thornburg is Coach Holbert's assistant.
Yes.
And so those two together pack like a 1-2 punch, right?
Yep.
And I think they make for very, very good. Coach Holbert had the 2 seasons ago when he won the Super Bowl. He beat a very, very veteran coach that had been here from day one of us in overtime.
Yes, that was a great game.
Right that end zone, right down
Yeah.
there. Right down there.
Yeah,
By the way, thanks to the Bridge Sports Complex for hosting us tonight for the show. But yeah, you were there. We were right
it was
down
all
there.
there. It was a great game.
There was that pass in overtime.
Yeah.
It was really super exciting. Yeah, Bears back there giving the head top behind the system there. So Coach Holbert does a great job. He's going to be he's known He told me one time, he says, I'm perfectly happy winning the game 6-0.
Yeah.
And that's just who he is. That's how he drafts, how he plays. And so that ought to be an interesting game because I know Barnhart packs a lot of speed. He always does. He likes to spread things out, right?
Yep.
Holbert is more of a traditional offense. Well, as traditional as you can get in flag. Flag itself is not traditional. But as traditional as you can get, right? Mm-hmm. He's pretty vanilla. And that's probably the most frustrating thing about playing against Holbert. Tell me if I'm wrong, true or false. You know what's coming, and he still does it.
Well, let's start with Barnhart. Barnhart has always been one of those coaches you have to look out for, just as much as you look at the rest of these coaches. Veteran experience, and he has a great assistant. Both of those two combinations is really deadly in this league. He drafted really good this year, got a lot of speed.
Took opening day from you last week, and then you got a little bit of payback in the playoffs.
Well, you know, Barnhart is just that type of coach. I prep. You have to prep for Barnhart.
For sure.
You cannot come in here just thinking like, I'm just going to do what I need to know. Barnhart will punish you if you do not prep for him. You have to be prepared. And he's just one of those coaches, man.
Yeah, he's a good coach. It should be a good matchup. See what happens. Coach Holbert with the Raiders always has a solid game plan put together, and he's always there in the playoffs as well. So we're going to take a quick break, another 30-second break, pay some bills for our sponsors. Give us 30 seconds. We'll be right back and open up the 12U division. Magic of Hollywood cinema. The magic of Hollywood cinema. Miguel has gotten good.
He changed again.
He's gotten good looking again. We got AMAC back on set with us, helping us break down what we're going to be seeing coming out of the South, literally out of the South, in the 12U division. Let's take a look at that schedule. First up, Coach, what can you tell us about Coach Miller here on the 12U Falcons from South?
He's got a great team coming up, and Coach Miller, it's his first year with us coaching, but he was around the sport for every game last year. He was a big impact with helping us out, so I'm excited to be able to coach against him. And I think he has a lot of talent coming to that team. He's got some experience. Some of the players that I coached last year are with him this year. They're bringing that Super Bowl experience to him, and I think that's going to be tremendous. He's got a lot of players on there that can catch the football, Jason. I tell you, no matter what, the receivers, yes.
He's got a quarterback to get it there, though. That's the question.
The quarterback for him this year, I'm not sure exactly who he's going to go there. I think we're still looking for that for both of our teams, but I'm sure he has enough talent that he'll find somebody.
Let's dig into that here in a moment. But first off, before we do, let's go to your Cowboys and see what we got going on here.
Yeah, my Cowboys team, I'm excited about them. I have 4 out of my 9 players returning.
Ooh.
So I'm excited to see what they can do this year. And we have a lot of speed, and that's what we're going to rely on. A lot of players can catch, throw the ball. We're still trying to filter through some things to see where we're going to place everybody, but real excited. I think we're going to be okay.
So do you have a plan, going back to the quarterback discussion, do you have a plan at quarterback for the Cowboys?
We do. We have a plan in place. I mean, we still need to see where we might do it by committee. And just to see who's back there, depending on what they can do.
Like Rich Rodriguez.
But we might do it by committee. But either way, we're going to get it done.
Yeah, we're going to get it done. What's your biggest? So give me your biggest. First, give me your biggest concern going into the season. You last year was your first year in NFL flag.
It was.
By the way, I think you did great.
Thank you,
Coach Charles Wolf, who was coaching the 9U Colts. Charles and I go way back, and he told me, we were talking on the phone one night. He said, listen, there's one guy down here at South, and he's already got it figured out. He's going to be something here coming, and he was talking about you. And so I thought you did a great job last year, especially. So what is your biggest concern this season, knowing kind of what you're going into? Because flag football is very fast, right?
It is.
Your first season, it's just like, what is happening? What's going on? So now that the game is slowed, and it probably slowed down for you a little bit towards the end of the season,
it did,
right?
yes.
So the game's slowing down for you. So what now? What is Coach AMAC's Cowboys' biggest concern, or in back of your mind, what do you think is your biggest concern this season?
For me, my biggest concern is just making sure we're putting players in the right position where we can get the most out of them. I know we have athletes, and I know we have every kid we have are going to be coachable. I'm sure. But the biggest thing is just making sure that we're putting them in the right position to be as successful as they can be.
And so sometimes I think the way I've always referred to it is like, especially at this level in rec, it's almost like a puzzle, right?
It is.
And sometimes it's by the end of the season before you figure how all those pieces go together. And in our league, everybody gets into the playoffs. It's single elimination. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home. So you have till the end of the season to really figure that out and make that playoff run.
Yeah.
So then the opposite of that question, what do you think is your most, when you lay down at night, if you're thinking about flag football, what's the most comforting thought you have about your team this year?
The most comfortable thought I have about my team is knowing that I have some of the fastest players.
Oh, okay.
So I know that I can utilize them, and based off the experience from last year, and learning the game and learning how flag football is, because I'm a tackle guy. I came tackle all my life.
Right.
It's an adjustment.
How much of a transition, while you're talking about that, how much of a transition was that for you? Somebody coming to play tackle in high school, play tackle with the next level, with the Division II level, and then now you're into what? How big of a transition, knowing the techniques like Coach Jermel's here, he played Division II ball, and so what? Help me understand, as somebody that never played at that level, how much of a transition is it for you in your thought process?
It's a big transition. I mean, mainly in been a former running back. As running backs, you want to stiff arm people. It's the first thing I want to do is lower the shoulder and stiff arm people. But if obviously we can't stiff arm in flag guarding, and teaching kids how to properly run the football.
Right.
So just learning that, and then just the rules in general that flag has versus what you do in tackle, and of course you have less players that you're dealing with as well, and then of course just mainly the speed of the game because it's so fast. So you get just the speed adjustment, but as you said before, getting your feet under you, and then learning how to navigate from the beginning of the season to the end. You can see the growth for not just myself, for all of the coaches that I have.
Right. That's going to be awesome. All right, well, Coach Aimaq, I thank you for coming up tonight and
thank you
joining
for
us
having me.
For both of those. We're going to move on to our 12U Central teams. The way we differentiate is Roar Central is here playing out of the Bridge Sports Complex. Bridgeport, Roar South plays out of Lewis County Park. And let's take a look at the schedules here for 12U. We're going to start with Coach Miggs' 12U Seahawks. This ought to be an interesting season. Coach Miggs and I coached together. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Last season, looks like he'll be taking a trip down to South week 2 and week 4. He'll be taking a trip down to Lewis County Park, playing down there at that field. Let's see what we got for the 12U Chargers. We Coach Miggs and I, and this seems to happen every season. We open up against each other.
Yeah.
Then week three, my Chargers head down south, and week 5 we head down south. And so as we look at these schedules, we see that we've got the let's see here, week 2, week 3, and so here we go. So now.
All right.
I told my team, we were together the other day just doing some introductions and stuff, and I told them, I said, it was so funny. I said, guys, if we lose one game, there's one game we cannot lose. And you know what? You were the one they said immediately, oh, Coach Miggs, you can't let Coach Miggs. I said, no. I said, Coach Miggs and I have beat the snot out of each other in the past several seasons. I said, we can't lose to Coach Aimaq.
Yep.
And Coach Aimaq said it we can't lose to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
If there's one team we can't lose to, it's the Cowboys. But what's this game going to look like? You and I both reloaded. You and I both going to have some new looks.
Always going to be a heavy hitting game. It's going to be slugs.
Figuratively, we don't hit in flag football.
No, we don't. But we're just saying, in general, it's just going to be offensive moving down the field.
High scoring, low scoring.
You're not scoring a lot on me. Let's just put it there. I am literally a defensive man. You're not going to score a lot on me.
We don't want to talk about Super Bowl last
No, you're
season.
not. You're not scoring on me. You're not scoring on me.
We're talking about the Jets and the Cardinals.
It's going to be a different outcome because my defense is just going to be a little bit better.
I hope not. We've got some speed and some new players. I think my biggest challenge this season is we've got some key players, but they're coming up from 10U, right? And even some of your players, we've always got that transitional time.
Yeah.
Even players that are exceptionally talented, there's a transition when you come from the 10U to the 12U. The speed of the game's faster. The complexity of some of the plays are a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we have it's a little bit different of different nucleus that we play around, right, in the 12U. And then we've got, how many vets you got on your 12U team?
I have a lot of vets. I have 7. I can name all.
7 vets?
I have 7 vets.
7 vets?
I have all my kids are experienced kids, and they're willing to play, and they're ready to play. And we know what we're getting ourselves into. Your team is a little bit younger than mine, and it's not that big difference. I'm not gonna say
pretty evenly matched game.
I'm not gonna say I'm way ahead on the chartboard. I'm just saying I just have a little bit more.
We'll find out. We will find out when gloves will come off August 23rd. And if you want to swing up here to the bridge, Coach Miggs and I will be going at it. We'll be ready to kill each other by the end of the game.
Yes,
and then
for
afterwards
sure.
We'll be
best friends.
y'all and best friends again.
On Fortnite, playing together.
Yeah, we'll be on Fortnite. By the way, that's a whole other mess there. So let's look. We got an interesting team coming up here. So there's an interesting dynamic coming up. Excuse me, with the 12U Ravens. Now, interesting, and we'll talk about them in a minute with a new coach. They open up with is that not right? They don't open up against the Lions. I'm still in your other division.
Yeah.
The Lions. They open up with Coach Nate Morrow.
Yes.
Who had a pretty decent season last season, and we had Coach Nate on here, and we're going to get him to come up and talk a little bit about them. Let's see the Lions schedule. Go ahead and bring the Lions schedule up. Lions are going to open up with this new coach, new team, and then we'll see each other a couple times. Then he finishes up with Coach Miggs. So here we go. We go back here. So, Coach, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show. Coach Nate Morrow, Nathan Morrow. He comes to us from, when did you move here from Alabama?
I moved actually from Florida. It was probably
Florida.
2010.
2010?
Yeah.
So it's been a minute you've been here. He's been in our league how many seasons now?
This is number 4.
Number four. So he's quickly becoming a common face around the field, always steps up to help, and is just we've coached against each other, we've coached with each other, and that's the interesting dynamics with the rec league. So in this division, we'll be coaching against, matter of fact, we see each other twice. We're the team that plays twice a season. And then after those games are over, we end up coaching together. He is leading the 15U Saints. We'll talk about here in a minute. So what are you expecting after the draft? You saw your draft. What you got going on? What are you thinking this year? You going spread? You going run? What are you thinking this year?
I went from mainly speed. That's one thing you can't teach. You can't teach speed.
Right.
You can teach people to catch. You can teach people to run.
100%.
Pulling flags, everything else, but you can't teach speed. Went size, height wise. I've always tended to have a smaller team.
Mm-hmm.
But this year we kind of went the other way. Drafted probably one of the better quarterbacks in 12U, I would say.
Coming off a Super Bowl from last season, so I think it was pretty good. Pretty good. You had a good game in that Super Bowl. So
I learned that quarterback's pretty important in flag football. If I could only find one at 15U, would be okay.
Yeah, for real. But
no, Bears the quarterback at 15U.
So who? With the South team, the South guys are here. You've seen how they're coming up and at them. What are you looking when you go down there? What are you looking? What do you think one of your biggest challenges are going to be besides the weather elements,
playing outside,
grass?
Yeah, playing outside on grass is a big thing for the kids here. Even when we play outside, it's still on the turf. It's not on grass.
Right.
It can be slippery at times. It's just something that the kids up here they play, tackle. It's different,
right.
But
and if it rains,
if it rains, it's all bets are off.
Yeah, it's another. And so based on, without giving away anything, based on what you think you're going to do with your offense, let's say you go down. Bear, pull that schedule back up again. Pull up the lines again. Let's say you go down. Let's say it's week. I don't know. Well, let's go week 3. Week 3, you come off a game against my Chargers. You're down there. It's pouring the rain. You're playing them, or even week 5. What goes through your mind when you're thinking, okay, if it's raining, based on what you know you're going to do with your offense, what you think you're going to do with your offense, what's your go-to? What's your thought of where are you going to go with that?
Keep the ball on the ground.
Keep the ball on the ground?
Yeah, it's exponentially harder to catch a wet football.
Sure.
Especially at this age.
And with what you have and what you drafted, you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable.
Absolutely.
With that. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, Coach Nate Morrow, we're glad to have him back with the 12U Lions this season. And you've been the Lions before, haven't you?
Yeah, we were the Lions in 15U a couple
13U?
years. 13U?
And 15U.
No, 15U.
Well, we had you the Cowboys. Yeah. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to break open our last section, which is our 15U division. A little unique lineup and something different we've never done before. So stick around, 30 seconds, pay some bills, and we'll be right back. All right, Coach Morrow got a little bit of a tan on the commercial break and grew some facial hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, just kidding. We kid a lot around here, and you're going to have thick skin to
Yeah,
survive,
for
right?
real.
You're going to be able to dish it and take it. Anyhow, so we're going to go into the 15. Now, the 15U division this season, our fall numbers occasionally get a little bit lower with either kids transitioning out, kids playing other sports. Fall is a busy season.
Yes.
Flag football is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the #1 growing youth sport, not only in youth but in girls as well. 18 states. Ohio is just the latest of states have sanctioned flag football for gals in high school at the varsity level. So I'm working right now. Hopefully, WVSSAC, if you're watching, you're listening, please, let's get together and get this done so West Virginia is not last again. But anyhow, in the 15U division, that's our 13 to 15-year-old division. We had a little bit lower numbers, and so what we decided to do was we broke it down. We've got 3 teams, but 3's an odd number, so we got to figure out scheduling. So what we decided to do was shorten the games just a little bit and run a play-sit-play format. So what that'll look like is earlier in the day than our Roar family is typically used to, we'll have a 15U game. Then there'll be 12U games sandwiched in between there, and then the second 15U game. And so every team in 15U will play a doubleheader twice during the season. So one team will play the doubleheader on week 1 and week 4. The next team will play on week 2 and week 5, and the next team to week 3 and week 6. And so the doubleheaders, everybody will have an even amount of games. And should be kind of interesting. I'm not sure what to expect, how it's going to affect the players. We have players being a rec league, right?
Yeah.
We've got players all over the board. We've got players that work out, that are athletes, that are solid. But then we also have players that they just come out to play ball and have fun.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. So let's pull up our first team in 15U. Miggs, what do you think? You know a lot of these kids. You're not coaching in 15U.
No, I'm not.
By the way, Miggs being the new director for Roar Central here in Bridgeport, he's going to be kind of overseeing a lot of administrative duties, but not coaching in 15U. But you know a lot of these players. You've coached just this past season in this division.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Bills? What's your thoughts on the Bills?
The Bills that's Jody, right? We talking about Jody here. Jody is a vet. We can't praise him enough for all the things he have done in this division, and he's gonna come out swinging. There's nothing about Jody that's gonna say, "I'm just gonna give y'all this win today." He's gonna come out with a mindset to beating everybody, and
he's got
tall players, big athletes,
fast players.
I think he's probably the tallest team here.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think
height-wise, I think Jody would be the tallest team.
Yeah.
So that's going to be again. Maybe how much different is it coming back after a year of being rusty in the 8U versus where he is now here in the 15U
you would never forget it. You can never forget flag. Even when you off, you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's something you bring up. You watch the games on Saturday. You try to keep up with the times. Sometimes you even pop up.
Yeah.
You just randomly see somebody here that you never seen before.
Right,
He's like, "What's up, guys?" This how this league is. It's nothing we can do to stop that. We're just interested.
And then the next schedule we'll pull up is Coach Pat Halbritter. And Coach Pat Halbritter rolling with the Eagles this season in 15U.
That's a new look for him too.
New look for Pat. Yeah. Steelers or some traditional Cowboys. He's back. Back as the Eagles. And so what do we look for? His son coming back here. Some other players, some other vets from other teams. He was able to do well. I think he did well in the draft. Pulled a good receiver out, solid receiver in the draft.
Yes.
So he's got some targets for the quarterback to throw to. And we talked about his offense, right? His offense is usually off the cuff. I think
there's no predicting.
I think Pat would probably and he would laugh if he was here. He would probably fall over a heart attack if we told him we had to use wristbands and playbooks.
Oh yeah, he would never do that.
Yeah, I don't think
he's an X and O guy. He's like,
yeah.
you trips over here,
Trips,
quads over here, 2 inside, two running back slant.
I must be able to play football in Grafton. I don't know.
I don't know.
No playbooks. They just
It's
go
something
at
in
it.
Grafton's water.
Yep. And if it doesn't work, we just yell loud around
Yeah.
until it does work. Nah, we joke. We love Pat.
We love Pat.
He's kind of taking over, helping us do some operations towards the end of the day here on Saturday. So he'll be another fixture around the league. We're glad to have Pat around too.
But for real though, Pat he's a genius on offense.
He's a good coach.
He's not used. There's no predicting him, and I said this in 10U, but he has now the talent to contribute to his madness. You know what I'm saying? He has
like the mad doctor.
Yeah, he's like more. I'm gonna air it out. No, I'm not. I'm gonna dump it off. No, I'm gonna run the ball. You don't know when you play Pat. It's really tricky.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, next up, let's take a look at our last schedule here. And the last schedule is going to be the Saints. We'll bring Coach Nate Morrow back on set.
By myself over here. Why am I by myself?
All right, so doing some behind-the-scenes work here in the studio. So, Coach, we're back. You and I are in this one together.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of trailing along here, just helping out where I can. So what do we expect? We don't have a quarterback. We need a quarterback, right?
I know. We got the 3 Stooges. We can keep them in line. We'll be all right. No, I mean, all 3 teams in 15U are pretty stacked, pretty even. It's going to be fun, exciting for sure. I know it's going to be fun.
I think with the, how do you think the shorter games and the double headers are going to affect the kids in this division?
For the ones that have played for a while, it's going to be a change. Yeah. Being 5 minutes shorter a half, they're used to having the full 20 minutes, so there's going to be a little bit more sense of urgency.
Right.
Hopefully by the end of it, everybody gets used to playing, the double headers. Some kids are going to be used to it, off the start, the ones that, play football or anything to that effect.
Sure.
It might be a struggle, for some kids, but by the end of it, I think everybody will kind of adapt to it. I think it'll be fun.
I think so. I think so too. I think 15U is going to be really exciting with the shortened games, and hopefully we'll be able to run them all 7v7.
Absolutely.
But I think with the 3 quarterbacks that are in the 15U division this season, I think the 5v5 would be fun.
Yes.
Watching that, it being more pass-heavy, pass-centric in a 5v5 format on a more narrow field. So is there any surprises you're thinking about may pop up this season? What would be the most surprising thing you would see this season? If you had to say, if this happened, it was totally, I never thought that would happen this season in 15U.
I don't really see any surprise. I mean, any team that's in there could win everything.
Yeah.
It's really just any given Saturday.
Right.
Any team can win.
Season, right?
Absolutely.
Our Falcons were just off
Absolutely.
and running. We were just bodying people, and then before you know it, the Dolphins got a little better.
Yep.
Got a little better.
A little better.
The Dolphins are wearing the ring at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And that could very well happen in 15U this year.
Right. 100%.
Any team can win.
The Dolphins won't win though.
No, the Dolphins won't win only because they're not in it.
Exactly. All right. So that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm just grateful for anybody that's tuned in and joined us here. We want to thank you guys for coming out again. RoarSportsWV.com. You can find us on Facebook at Roar Sports Central, Roar Sports South, on YouTube, Roar Sports WV. Our season kicks off August 23rd. All the games on the 23rd, and then the last day, which is the 30th, they will all be self-contained. They will be, in other words, what I mean by that is all Central teams will play in Bridgeport on the first and last game, the 30th and the 27th of September, and all the South teams will play in the South on the 30th and the 27th. But after that, there'll be some interleague play. Looks to be pretty fun. Also, just wanted to give you a heads up and a little sneak peek. Coming up later on in the season, we have our Super Bowls, which will roll on October 11th. October 11th, our Super Bowl will be here. We'll have our games here, as well as the South games. All games will be played here. And then the very next week, on the 18th, so far we know for sure in the 10U division and the 12U division, we're going to have the All-Star games. And that's going to be like an all-day thing, perhaps 15U if we can figure out how to put it together. We may even do let the 15U pick a couple kids, let them draft their own teams, do something fun like that. I'm not sure. But stay tuned. Again, RoarSportsWV.com, RoarSportsWV.com. If you have any questions or something you heard tonight or something you want to contribute, an idea you may have, hit us up, info at roarsportswv.com, info at roarsportswv.com. Give us a shout, 304-608-3529, 304-608-3529. You can also find us up here on any Saturday from August 23rd until October 11th and then the 18th with the All-Star Game. Also, just a heads up, we will be live streaming our games in 10U and up here at Central. Video on demand, repeat, and Roar South as well. So we hope you guys have enjoyed the show. It's been fun. It's the first time we've done anything like this, so hopefully we'll be get a chance to do some more. Thanks, Coach Miggs, for coming on. Coach Amack for joining us. Director Ed Clark in South doing a great job. Coach Nate, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Bear, thanks for producing, and we'll see you guys on the field.